A blessed day, Ma'am Bench and classmates. Malnutrition is one of the pressing health problems here in the Philippines. The Save the Children Foundation noted that out of 3 children aged 0 to 5 years old, one of which is malnourished. This statistic is solidified by the Rural Health Unit of Pandan in 2016. Pandan is the fourth-class municipality in the province of Antique, located in Panay Island. Based on their record, there were 4,252 malnourished children and only 7.15% of them were removed from being malnourished by the end of the year. There were efforts, projects, and campaigns launched by the local government unit in accordance with malnutrition, one of which is the launching of Pandan Community Radio or Radio Kaimaw DYNC 88.5 FM through the Project Nutritional Community Radio Network program of the National Nutrition Council in partnership with the LGU and with consultancy of the Tambuli Foundation Incorporated and the late Mr. Lucio Tabing or Kalui. Up to date, there were 7 nutritional programs aired in PCR with different radio program formats and hosts. Further, PCR has been existing in the locality for the last 10 years. However, with the latest malnutrition rate reported by RHU Pandan, it can be assumed that the municipality is still experiencing a pressing malnutrition problem. Thus, it is important to discover what may cause this problem despite the presence of PCR for a long time. The research problem of this study asked, what are the perceptions of Pandananons about Pandan Community Radio's nutritional programs towards preventing malnutrition in Pandan Antique? Specifically, this study aims to answer the following questions. Number 1. What are the topics discussed in the identified nutritional programs of Pandan Community Radio? What are the roles of Pandan Community Radio towards curbing of malnutrition in the municipality? What are the reasons why malnutrition is still prevalent in the municipality despite the presence of Pandan Community Radio? In general, this study aims to identify the perceptions of Pandananons about Pandan Community Radio's nutritional programs towards preventing malnutrition in Pandan Antique. Furthermore, this study seeks to determine the topics discussed in the identified nutritional programs of Pandan Community Radio, to find out the roles of Pandan Community Radio towards curbing of malnutrition in the municipality, and lastly, distinguish the reasons why malnutrition is still prevalent in the municipality despite the presence of Pandan Community Radio. This study is grounded in the uses and gratification theory by communications professor J. Blamler and sociologist Eleo Katz in the 1970s. This theory is audience-centered. That means they are active users of media. It further explains the uses of media to the audience's lives and how they use these media to satisfy their individual needs. Furthermore, this theory stresses that the audience has an important role in choosing what kind of medium to use, along with how he or she interprets its message and eventually apply it into their respective lives. Additionally, the theory empowers the capability of the audience or the people in using such media. This means that they are not passive. Thus, the medium that satisfies the needs of the audience the most will be used more often. The theory identified 5 categories of needs and gratification of the people or the audience of the medium, such as cognitive needs, affective needs, personal integrative needs, social integrative needs, and tension-free needs. However, critics said that this theory focuses on what the audience desire in a media to fulfill their corresponding needs, rather than recognizing what media can produce for them to enjoy. Since the audience is selective, they tend to consume media as a habit. With this, the intended media effects become less. Further, it does not consider the power of the media. The media are just there to feed and gratify their. As you can see, Figure 1 shows the simplified uses and gratification model based on Rosengren's conceptual model and Murad and Tahir 2016. The three boxes, basic needs, society, and individual characteristics, coincide with each other to affect the gratification that is being sought by the audience. And it is delivered through the media being used by the audiences, and through the media being used, the gratification of the audience is being obtained. The gratification that is being obtained go back to the basic needs that was identified by the audience themselves. Here is the revised conceptual model. In the first box, the basic needs, which was named from the theory, affect the Pandananons and vice versa. The Pandananons, with their respective individual characteristics, made them as Pandananons themselves. Depending on their individual characteristics, their basic needs are being identified. Based on Pandananons' basic needs and characteristics as individuals, they have their own perceptions, views, and actions regarding prevention of malnutrition. The message of preventing malnutrition is being delivered through Pandan Community Radio, which is the media, and being discussed through its nutritional programs. With PCR as a channel of the message, the obtained gratification is being experienced by the Pandananons with consideration to the identified basic needs such as cognitive, affective, personal integrative, social integrative, and tension-free. The assumptions of the studies are as follows. Pandan Community Radio's nutritional programs are perceived by most Pandananons as important platform, channel, and tool in preventing malnutrition in Pandan Antique. Most of the Pandan Community Radio's nutrition programs discuss malnutrition as one of their program topics. Pandan Community Radio's roles in curbing malnutrition in the municipality includes platform in information dissemination, serves as medium to address malnutrition, and an alternative form for non-formal education. Pandan Community Radio's malnutrition is still prevalent in the municipality despite the presence of Pandan Community Radio because of low usage of PCR, short interval of power interruption in the municipality, and low participation from the audience. The independent variables of this study are as follows: Pandan Community Radio, PCR's nutritional programs, and prevention of malnutrition, while the dependent variables include perception, views, and opinions of Pandananons and interview answers of PCR's program makers and hosts. This study will employ a one-shot survey design. This type of research design is in a parallel cycle that is empirical in nature. The cycle involves research questions, data collections, and analysis. Further, as a non-experiment research design, it involves observation. This is clearly strong design, especially for descriptive research questions. Survey questionnaires that will be distributed to the identified respondents will be done one time only, and they are not controlled nor forcibly exposed to the selected media. The main respondents of this study are composed of people residing in Pandan Antique for the last 10 years who are better known as Pandananons. For the cross-sectional survey respondents, the research will utilize the stratified sampling method, which is a method under the probability sampling and a form of random sampling that divides the population into groups or strata based on the selective variable by the researcher. As a rule of thumb, the minimum sample size of a study with 3 independent variables is 30. In this study, the target population, which is Pandananons, is identified according to the residence address. This means that they are pre-grouped based on their barangay. There are 34 barangays in the municipality. In each barangay, the researcher will choose 5 individuals to answer the survey questionnaire. Thus, there are 68 respondents in total. On the other hand, for the interview respondents, the researcher will use expert sampling under purposive sampling technique. This type of sampling method will be utilized to get knowledge from experts or individuals who have expertise in a specific field. In this research case, the program makers and hosts are considered as experts. The tools used in this research are the survey questionnaires for the main respondents and for the program makers and hosts of the identified nutritional programs who are the key informants. The researcher prepared survey questions with partially close-ended questions in local dialect. The survey questions must seek the perceptions of the respondents about PCR's nutritional programs towards preventing malnutrition, its roles towards curbing of malnutrition, and the reasons why malnutrition is still prevalent in the municipality despite the presence of Pandan Community Radio. Coordination with the LGU Pandan must be done to reach the sample population. Distribution of the questionnaires must be done personally by the researcher. Collection of the answer survey question must be done right away, while the interview questions for the key informants will be sent through email. They will be given 7 days by the researcher to answer the questions. As working professionals, it is believed that the chosen time is sufficient for both respondents and the researcher. Interview answers will be collected through email. The data gathering will be carried out during the months of January, February, and March 2019 and will be done simultaneously. The researcher avoids the month of April because it is the town fiesta of the chosen locality. In analyzing the data, the researcher uses the quantitative and qualitative analysis. The quantitative analysis is for the cross-sectional survey, while the qualitative analysis is for the interview with key informants. The researcher utilizes the descriptive design for the quantitative analysis. In the descriptive design, data are being simplified from a huge volume of data. Thus, it showcases quantitative descriptions in a manageable form. However, descriptive design risks the distortion of the original data or the omitting part of a particular data. On the other hand, qualitative analysis creates a wider picture. These forms of research draws a clearer picture of why and how people responded to a given situation, idea, issue, or matter. For questions, clarifications, and suggestions, you may comment down below.